Hi, we just want to start off by saying Eid Mubarak to everybody out there. And for those who don't celebrate Eid and are watching this, then happy holidays. We'd like to share with you guys the way we spent our Eid today. We're actually one of the part of the family members of the Holy Land Five. I'm not sure if you guys heard of them. Our dad, Shukri Abu Bakr, is currently in the CMU, which is Correctional Management Unit prison here in Terre Haute, Indiana. We flew over here yesterday.
Communication Management
What did I
Unit.
say?
Correctional. Communication.
Management Unit. Anyway, so we got here yesterday, Saturday, and then today for Eid, we woke up in the morning, early, and we drove to the prison to go see him. And for those who really don't know what a communication management unit is, it's basically there are only two of these prisons in the whole nation. You can go read more about them because I'm not going to sit here and tell you everything, but basically they're made for terrorists, and the whole point of them is to limit every aspect of communication from these prisoners and the outside world, including their own family members and loved ones. So basically when we get the chance to visit my dad, it's behind glass in maybe like a very small 5x6 room, and what divides us between me and our dad is a plexiglass window, and he's usually on the other side, and there's a phone on both sides, and usually he has to call or dial in a code to talk to us, and we have to pick up the phone. You can kind of hear each other through the glass, but we're not allowed to do that because the whole point of our visit is to actually be monitored and recorded by higher authority. And so what happens is we have to talk through the phone, and so there's like 5 of us, and we have to take turns and talk through the phone. We came in last month in October, and we drove about 15 hours on a Saturday, and our visits were supposed to be Sunday and Monday. We went to go visit him Sunday. We saw him for 10 minutes, and we greet my dad, but each one of us puts our hands on the glass, and he kisses his hand and kisses each hand on the window. And so we kind of greeted him for 10 minutes. He was trying to call us through the phone. We kind of shared some little highs and byes behind the glass what we could hear, but we soon were told that we were not allowed to even do that because, like I said before, the whole point of our conversation or our visit was to be monitored. So before you know it, they had to end our visit because my father couldn't hear us and the phones weren't working, and so that whole visit on Sunday was gone. They told us to leave the premises and they would call us as soon as the phones could work. So pretty much Sunday was gone, and then we had one more day, which was Monday, to visit him, and we had to head back to Dallas. So we went there Monday, waited for about 2 hours. They told us that the phones weren't working again, and we had to head back to Dallas. We asked to at least say goodbye to my father, and we get to do that. So we drove 15 hours to get to see my dad, stayed in hotels for the next 2 days, drove back. Eid comes, and we had the opportunity to come down because they told us that they had those days available. And what happens is you basically get 8 hours a month to visit these prisoners, but what happens is you don't really get these 8 hours because it's in Terre Haute and there's one in Marion, Illinois, and you have to actually try to fit it in your schedule, and they also have to be available. The prison has to be available and have the non-contact room available for you to visit. And so they told us that they would be available, and we were like, oh, it's perfect. It's Eid. Even though my father didn't want us to come back because of what happened last time, it was so devastating and so heartbreaking for him to see us for only 10 minutes and know that we drove so far just to see him. But we didn't listen to him anyways, and we came to visit him. We thought we could cheer him up. So today, when we went to go visit him, basically the same thing happened. He picked up the phone, he said salam, salam salmin, Eid Mubarak and stuff. And we shared a few glimpses and things of that sort. And he picks up the phone, and there's no ringtone, and you could just see his facial expressions change because he kind of knew what was going to happen. So they tried fixing it, didn't work, and so they quickly took him out. And what happens is he's on the other side of the room and we're on the other side. And like I said, we're divided by this window. and he's locked in his room, and we're locked in this room. Bear in mind, there's 5 of us that are locked in this concrete, ugly, filthy room.
What it is, it's basically a cell. It really is basically a cell that's divided with a glass window that you can barely see through because it's really small. So, yeah, we've been locked up for
so they locked us in the room. We were there from 8:30, and
4 hours.
We were in the room for about 4 hours. We were in there till almost 12. They locked us in while we were waiting for the phone to work so that we can talk to my dad. And of course, we're waiting. We're like, okay, is there another room you guys can put us in? Something to accommodate us, because this is ridiculous. And we wait in this cooped up room, so stuffed up. But you know what? Seriously, I don't know how the prisoners make it. They actually live this life 24/7, and we were in there for 4 hours, and we were suffocating, literally suffocating in this eerie feeling room.
And now I know why they all go psychotic, because you're in this tiny little room, nothing but walls.
Within by 12 o'clock, they told us, you know what, you guys are just gonna have to leave, and we'll call you as soon as it gets fixed. So today's Sunday, Eid. It is almost 4 o'clock right now. Visitations actually technically end at 3, and we actually just got a phone call right now before we did this video saying that the phones are still not working, and you know, it's still trying to figure it out. So tomorrow we're supposedly gonna try to call before we head to the prison to figure out whether the phones work.
Even though we had called before we actually
right, because we didn't want it to happen
This is
again.
the worst Eid ever.
For a 10-year-old, this is the worst Eid ever. That's pretty depressing and devastating. But alhamdulillah, I know there's so many people out there that probably have a worse Eid, and especially people who are in war zones and war countries. But for Eid in America, that's not Eid in America. I really can't even believe this is happening in our country. And I just want to tell people out there that a lot of times on Eid we complain about not going to the restaurant we wanted, or not getting the gifts that we wanted, or things of that sort. Just be thankful that you're actually around your family, that you're able to hug your mom or dad, able to kiss them. Some people are not that lucky. Some people don't have their family or mothers and fathers due to death. They're due to long distance. In our case, even when we try to attempt to visit my dad, it's behind glass. Those visits themselves are so emotionally draining, and then on top of that, you kind of get used to it, like, okay, at least we see him. It's like you start counting your blessings. At least we see him. It's better than nothing. And then now it's like we didn't even get to talk to him. It was behind glass for like 5 minutes. We didn't even get to sit and tell him the things that we've been wanting to see to him. And another thing I just want to mention is regular prisoners actually get 300 minutes a month to call. My father gets 2 calls a week for about 10 to 15 minutes that you have to share within 6 people. So there's no means of actually having a relationship or a meaningful conversation. So we look so much forward to these visits to come and talk to him and just kind of fill him in our lives, and we haven't had a chance to do that. So last month in October we had this horrible experience. Now again in November on Eid, on our holiday, whether it's our holiday or Christmas or Hanukkah, it doesn't matter, it's a holiday. So not to be able to hug or smell your dad is just the most, I don't even have enough words to explain how we feel. And criminals out there, rapists, drug dealers, killers, murderers, whatever you want to call them, they get to hug and kiss their children. They get to have them sit on their laps. They get to have regular contact visits where you can buy snacks for each other. We don't even get that. We don't even get to hear our dad's voice. So please go and try to learn more about these CMUs. It's pretty sad that most of these prisoners are Muslims who haven't even been convicted of any real crime. My dad and 4 other men, I'm going to mention their names: Hassan Ashi, Muhammad Mzayan, Abdurrahman Oda, and Mufid Abdul Qadir. These men literally dedicated their lives to helping children, putting smiles on their faces. They built the Holy Land Foundation, and if you know anything about this foundation, it changed the lives of so many people out there around the whole world. It wasn't just for Muslims or even Palestinians. This isn't just a Palestinian case or a Muslim case. This is a human case, and it was a charity organization that was shut down for absolutely no reason. So just educate yourselves, count your blessings, He's super thankful for even being able to hear the voice of your loved one, kiss them, hug them. Whether you're celebrating Eid again or Hanukkah or Christmas or whatever it is, make sure you go out there and make the best of the time you have.
Take advantage of your family, really, because you do not know what is going to happen tomorrow, next month, in a year. Just take advantage of anyone around you, your mom, your dad, your sister, you know. Just
I hope you guys
love
watched
them.
this, and we're really, really sorry if it took really, really long, but just wanted to share this with whoever is out there watching.
All right.
Bye.